Today marks an extremely sad day as we say goodbye to an old friend. In Boruto chapter 55, Kurama has died. Even though he told Naruto if Naruto uses the Baryon mode, he'll die, in this chapter Kurama tells Naruto that he was lying and that he was actually the one who will die. Now, I have a little feeling here that this is actually Kishimoto running in to take over the series and prevent Naruto from dying. As we know, just a few chapters ago, Kishimoto announced that he will be returning to take over the Boruto manga, and I think that's because it appeared that Naruto was going to die, and so Kishimoto was like, nope, I'm going to take this over and keep Naruto alive. So he does this by explaining that normally when a tailed beast is extracted from the host dies, but in this case, it's not the same. Naruto won't die because only the tailed beast chakra has been depleted, as opposed to the tailed beast being extracted from the host, which is different. So the price of the Baryon mode is my life, not yours, Kurama says. I lied to you this one time. Kurama thinks that Naruto would not have agreed to the plan if he knew the truth. As Kurama departs, he warns Naruto to be careful because he does not have the powers of a Jinchuriki anymore. So I do agree with that probably if Kurama told Naruto, if you use this form, I'll die, Naruto may not have used it. Naruto more likely to sacrifice himself than the life of someone else, but if Naruto was gonna die, I mean, didn't he think that Kurama was gonna die anyway with him? So I kind of feel like this is some writing change from Kishimoto, trying to throw this in there. Oh, I lied to modify this story into his own image and keep Naruto alive. That's the vibe that I'm getting, but let me know what you guys think about that in the comments down below. So in this chapter, we see basically the conclusion of the Ishiki and Boroshiki fight. Now that battle is over. Sasuke and Naruto are alive. Sasuke is missing his Rinnegan now, and it doesn't appear that he's going to be getting that back, so he may just have an eye patch for the rest of the series or just have his eye closed entirely. And the only casualty of this fight is Kurama, who is now, it appears to be dead, like he fades away and dies. It's a tremendously tragic and emotional moment, seeing this picture of Naruto reaching his hand, trying to touch Kurama, who is fading away. It's really sad, and it really sucks. Also, you'll notice that Naruto no longer has his whiskers anymore on his face, so that's a change to his character and a change to Sasuke's character as well. Now, it's important to note, and we got to talk a lot about this here, what is the future of Naruto and Sasuke going to look like? They both just took tremendous nerfs to their character. Naruto can probably still use his Sage mode, any jutsus, Rasengan, but he's going to lose his overwhelming amount of chakra. He's going to lose his Kyuubi modes. Can he still use Sage of the Six Paths? I doubt it, but maybe it's possible. But overall, I mean, Naruto seems like he's going to be pretty weak now, you would think. And Sasuke doesn't have his Rinnegan anymore, so he still has his Sharingan, which is powerful enough, but he just lost, half his arsenal as well. So these two characters are completely nerfed now in this series, and so much so that if another Otsutsuki arrives, it doesn't appear that they'll be able to do much of anything at all, considering how much they have struggled against the Otsutsuki in the past, even with their full potential. So we also get introduced to basically who's going to be the next villain of this series, Kishimoto jumping right into it, and it is this character Code, who is a subordinate of Ishiki, and it appears that he has Ishiki's karma, although he was never meant to be a vessel. So he's going to have some sort of karma powers, he's going to have some sort of Otsutsuki powers, and Ishiki tells him as he fades away that he needs to create the divine tree using Kawaki as a sacrifice and eat the divine fruit in which he will become God. So look at this image of this god creature. I guess if you eat the divine fruit, like, this is what you become. Pretty cool looking image there out of Kishimoto. And is that thing going to come out into reality? Like, is this going to happen a few chapters down the line? Will Code release the 10 tails and eat the divine fruit? I mean, I doubt it. We saw Kawaki from the beginning of the series, and he has karma and he's using it, so I doubt that plan will ever go through, but Kishimoto is teasing us with some potential threats in the future already. Some other things that happen in this chapter, basically they're trying to figure out how to get home, get back to Konoha. Sasuke cannot use the Rinnegan anymore to create a portal to get back, so what they need to do is use Boruto's karma, because he can teleport as well, but Boruto doesn't want to use it because he's afraid afraid that Momoshiki will come out yet again. Now, Kawaki doesn't have his karma anymore, but he's still 80% Otsutsuki. We're getting kind of into gray territory. This is because Ishiki was trying to take over Kawaki's body, but anyways, somehow Kawaki and Boruto are able to combine their powers in order to create a rift and teleport back to Konoha safely. And before the chapter ends, we get some more information about Code. He was one of the failed vessels, as we know that Jigen was creating all of these vessels, or at least experimenting on them, and most of them died. Kawaki was the only one that survived, but there was a failed vessel in this character, Code, and this explains why he's able to communicate with Ishiki here. He has like this white karma in him, so maybe they'll explain that a little bit more in the future, but basically Ishiki is telling him that you will inherit the powers of an Otsutsuki and carry out the will of Ishiki. You must feed Kawaki and Boruto to the Ten Tails and grow the God Tree in order to become the one and only God. You must eat the chocolate fruit from the God Tree and become a new Otsutsuki. And Code, for whatever reason, even though he was experimented on and presumably tortured just like Kawaki was, he has an undying loyalty to Ishiki, and he vows that from the bottom of his heart, he will get rid of the people who robbed him of Ishiki. So he becomes like obsessed with taking on Kawaki, Boruto, Naruto, and Sasuke, and that's pretty much how the chapter ends. The disturbing eyes of Code, who is entrusted with the will of the Otsutsuki. So he's going to want his revenge. He is the next villain. Presumably in the next chapter or two, we'll see Code versus Kawaki and Boruto. I don't know if Sasuke and Naruto can continue to fight at this point. I'm sure they'll come in at some point, but it looks like Kishimoto's trying to transition this more into Boruto and Kawaki as a team. As Boruto says, as long as Kawaki's by his side, he feels like he can do anything. And we also saw in this chapter that they can basically like combine their Otsutsuki powers together to do things like create rifts to teleport around and such. Who knows what else that they can do. I think it's a pretty good setup for the next arc. Code obviously isn't nearly as strong as the Otsutsuki were, so it feels like the next battle is going to be on a weaker scale, I guess you could say, but eventually it will probably transition into another fight where lives are at stake. We still don't know what happens to Naruto and Sasuke, why they aren't in the beginning of the anime, where exactly they were sent. Do they die? Are they sealed somewhere? We still don't have any of that information, but Kishimoto did say that we're reaching the point of the beginning of the anime very soon. So there should be some time skip coming up, and maybe that's what happens. Maybe in the next chapter there's like a time skip and we get to see Boruto and Kawaki kind of grown up a little bit. Maybe at that point Code is much stronger and something crazy could happen. So we have to be getting to that point pretty soon. So we'll have to see what Kishimoto has in store for us. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I'll see you on the next video.